When you think about our brand, our name, Journey, you have a realisation that individually we're all on our own respective journey. And to take guests away from their day-to-day lives and have them on a 5-night, 6-day experience somewhere around the world, more often than not an exotic place that removes all of the distractions and physical barriers that are in the way of them being able to make the necessary change to see some sort of improvement in their life. Not to mention identifying some of those self-imposed barriers that we often attach to our identity that hold us back in our lives. We're able to create a bit of a framework that allows people to have the necessary growth and an understanding that allows them to move forward. We do that through a holistic approach where we identify a number of different pillars such as mobility, sleep, hydration, nutrition, daily movement, mindset and relationships, and work toward understanding where we're at with each of those pillars and how we can identify a bit more balance and maintain that balance toward a more fulfilling life. When making the decision as to whether or not to commit to a week-long experience with Journey, one of the things that I like to offer to our guests is the realisation that I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, not a psychiatrist, but what I do is take the time to understand why a person is the way that they are and facilitate a week-long experience that is reflective of the challenges, vulnerability and learnings that they're going to require to make the necessary progress to live a more fulfilling and optimised life. And we do that through our training, workshops, educational seminars, activities, free time, and the fun that we have in building connection with the rest of the guests and creating that community amongst everybody that attends. One of the consistent things that we see with a lot of the guests that we have that come along to our retreats is back home they feel like they're somewhat stuck in the monotony of day-to-day life and going through the motions. A lot of people tend to struggle to remove themselves from that day-to-day routine and give themselves what they actually deserve. And we find with a lot of the guests that we've had come along, once they put themselves in a position where they've removed all of the necessary distractions from their life to actually give to themselves, they find that there's so many different avenues with respect to their health and fitness that they can actually touch on and improve that are applicable to their day-to-day lives back home and will give them that level of fulfillment once they return. A lot of the women that we have come along to our retreat experiences are often quite self-aware, independent, hard-working professionals that have an understanding of their current level of health and fitness, but feel a little bit stuck in not being able to make the next step of progress. And what you typically find is they're very consistent with their training approach. They might have a gym membership, they might be part of a strength and conditioning, they're committed, but they can't quite take that next step toward being ultimately proud of who they are and what it is that they want to achieve in the future. And a lot of that comes from having an understanding as to why they are the way they are. For me personally, as a coach and a facilitator on these retreats, there's nothing that I'm more proud of than seeing somebody actually achieve an element of pride in being able to reflect on what is only a 5-night, 6-day experience, but realise how far they've come through that period and know that they can apply that to their lives back home, optimise themselves from a health and wellness perspective and live a much more fulfilling life as a result. One of the most memorable guest experiences that I've had is with a particular guest named Jess, and she was quite timid on the first day that she attended and sort of was a little bit hesitant in the corner. And it wasn't until I actually got to know her a bit more throughout the week, understood a little bit more about her story. She's put in 3 different lockdowns in Melbourne throughout COVID, had sort of found that she lost a bit of a sense of her identity through that period and was sort of going through the motions, the day-to-day monotony of her life. And it wasn't until she gave herself the opportunity to come away for a week, give that time back to herself, identify the areas of her health and fitness that she could actually improve upon, and then not only apply it through that 5-night, 6-day experience, but transfer all of those learnings back to her day-to-day life back home. We did a weekly check-in for 2 months after the retreat, and I could see a huge difference from that first moment when I saw her sitting on the floor in that meet and greet to our final check-in session, and even just following along on social media now and seeing what she does with her life on Instagram, and a huge difference in the person that she's been able to tap into and the life that she's being able to live now. In today's society, we're often faced with opportunities to have a quick fix approach to anything that we want in life. But health and fitness certainly isn't one of those. And when you look at the cost of attending a 5-night, 6-day experience that covers your accommodation, training, educational workshops and seminars, activities, food, form workshops, insights from some of the most highly regarded experts in the world, it's quite easy to be able to justify for us and for the many guests that we've had attend our retreats that you just can't put a cost on your health and fitness. If you're at a point now where you can see that the benefits far outweigh the cost, book now. We look forward to seeing you soon.